Alright, so now we're getting to some more complicated rational expressions. So with this, I want to factor the top and the bottom. So if you need to, that looks like a difference of squared, x squared minus 4. So I get x and x minus 2 plus 2. So over here on the bottom, I get an x minus 2 and I get an x plus 2. So let's factor the top. So I'm just going to factor my top and I'm going to do it right here. Okay? Ways to factor. So I have this x squared minus 14, but these two boxes have to add to give me 5x. Well, to split up the x, I go x and x. So I'm looking for something that's going to multiply to 14, right? Multiply to this value, but add to that one. So what are multiples of 14? Well, I got 7 and 2. Well, a negative 2 and a positive 7 will give me a 5. So I get x plus 7 on top, and I get x minus 2 on the bottom. On top as well. So I try to find my restrictions. So let's just look at this really quickly. Restrictions. What's going to make that equal to 0 if I plug in a 2? What's going to make this equal to 0 if I plug in a negative 2? So those are my restrictions. Well, I look at what cancels out, the x minus 2 and the x minus 2, and then I'm left with this x plus 7 over x plus 2, and that is my answer. Okay, this is our next one we're going to do. We have to factor again. So I'm going to factor the bottom here, and then I'm going to factor the top here. So here we go on the bottom. Right, x squared, and then I have a negative 3 over here. These two need to add up to 2x. So I get an x and an x, but I have a negative 3. So I need a 3 and a 1 are the only things that will multiply to 3, but I need to get a positive 2. So if this is a positive 3 and a negative 1, those two will add to that middle value. So my bottom's factor, and I get x plus 3, x minus 1. To factor my top, just setting myself up, right? Modeling a lot of boxes. X squared plus 4. X and x, and these two boxes need to give me a negative 5x. So I need something that's going to multiply to 4, but give me a value of 5. So I think to myself, multiples of 4 are 2 and 2, 1 and 4. That won't ever give me 5. 1 and 4 will give me 5. But here's the thing, it has to be a negative 5, so they're both negative. X minus 4, x minus 1. So let's set up our restrictions. The value that's going to make that x plus 3 equal to 0 is a negative 3, so x can't equal a negative 3. The value that's going to make that x minus 1 equal to 0 is 1. So set up my restrictions, cancel out what's the same. So I get x plus 4 on the top over that x plus 3 on the bottom.